Pork skewers with potatoes are a version for enthusiasts of both skewers and pork. Have you ever tried making pork skewers? Prepare about 1 kilogram of boneless pork shoulder. Cut it into pieces about 1 centimeter thick. Spread all the pieces on a cutting board and cover with plastic wrap. Take a meat mallet and gently pound all the prepared cutlets. Remove the wrap and season the meat with salt and pepper on both sides. Take 2 large potatoes and cut them into slices of medium thickness. Transfer them to a bowl. Sprinkle with salt and pepper to taste. Season with a teaspoon of sweet red paprika. Pour 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and gently mix the potatoes. Take 2 skewers for the skewers. On the cutting board, place 2 slices of potatoes next to each other. Pierce them with the skewers. 1 skewer for 1 slice of potato. Now take the first piece of meat and place it on the skewers. Press it against the potatoes. Now take 2 onion rings and place them on the meat. Place bacon on the onion. Now create a layer with potatoes and then add meat, onion, and bacon sequentially. Arrange the skewer's ingredients in alternating layers. When the skewer is too large, you can lay it on the cutting board and finish adding more layers. When all the layers are ready, the skewer will look like this. All the layers are visible. Now, prepare aluminum foil and moistened baking paper. Moist paper is more flexible and makes it easier to wrap the meat and shape it for the baking sheet. Place the skewer on the paper, wrap it, and pack it tightly in foil. Transfer the skewer to an oven-proof dish and bake in an oven preheated to 200 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. In the meantime, prepare a marinade with 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, a small teaspoon of French mustard, and 2 teaspoons of honey. Mix the marinade. After an hour of baking the meat, remove it and unwrap it from the foil and paper. Brush the marinade with a brush. Do this on the entire surface. Put the skewer back in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until it turns golden brown. After baking, remove the skewer and transfer it to a plate. It looks juicy and delicious. Cut it in half lengthwise. Such a skewer is a perfect idea for a tasty dinner or an unusual supper. Such a herring roll disappears from the table in the blink of an eye. Even people who don't like this fish eat it. Place food foil on the cutting board. Lay the sliced beets flat. Place them so that they overlap. There should be no holes or gaps. Then, put 5 tablespoons of grated beetroot on them. Spread it all over, so that a uniform layer is created. Place the mayonnaise in a pastry bag, spread it all over. Don't add too much so that the roulade doesn't taste too heavy. Prepare 4 boiled potatoes and 3 boiled carrots. Grate them on a coarse grater. Transfer them to the roll. Start by laying out the potatoes. Then add the carrot. Spread evenly by pressing lightly. Cut the herring pieces into narrow strips. They should not be too large to make it easier to roll the entire dish. Place them along the short side. Garnish with fresh dill. Add to the entire length. Start rolling the prepared roulade. Roll tightly to create layers. Cling film will be very helpful. Once you have wrapped the roulade, secure it with foil and put it in the fridge for 3 hours. Take the roulade out just before serving. Cut it into pieces. Garnish with mayonnaise and dill. This dish looks beautiful on the Christmas table. The combination of beetroot and herring is delicious. Even people who don't really like the taste of this fish eat it. This is the best pork chop recipe I have ever tried. It's aromatic and juicy. Cut the meat into pieces, but don't cut all the way through, creating a harmonica-like shape. Transfer it to a baking dish. In a bowl, add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and herbe de Provence. Mix thoroughly and sprinkle this spice mixture over the meat, making sure to cover every centimeter of the pork chop. Peel 2 onions and cut them in half, then slice them into strips. Take a piece of bacon and slice it into pieces of similar thickness. Layer each piece of pork chop with onion strips, placing 2 pieces in each cut. Add the bacon as well, pressing them deep into the cuts to prevent them from fouling out during baking. Prepare 200 grams of vegetable oil. Add a teaspoon of salt, marjoram, and sweet paprika. Mix everything thoroughly. Apply this marinade using a silicone brush, spreading it evenly over the entire pork chop. The final step is sauerkraut. It's very healthy and prepared this way. It's delicious. Place it around the roast in the baking dish, filling any empty spaces. Bake for 50 minutes in an oven, preheated to 392 degrees Fahrenheit. After this time, your meal for the whole family will be ready for an hour. The sauerkraut will be well seasoned. Pork chops are often dry, but this recipe ensures they are always flavorful and juicy. It's a perfect idea for a family dinner or a larger gathering. The meat literally melts in your mouth. Delicious dinner with white cabbage. You won't want to eat regular meatballs anymore. Take 1 medium-sized cabbage. Cut it into 3-centimeter pieces from the top. Place each piece gently on a baking sheet. Season the cabbage with salt and pepper. Transfer the ground meat to a large bowl. Add 1 finely chopped onion. Crush 3 cloves of garlic and add them to the meat. Add a tablespoon of red pepper, a tablespoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of salt. Then sprinkle a tablespoon of nutmeg and Provençal herbs. Put on a rubber glove and mix everything thoroughly to evenly distribute the spices. Remove the glove and grease your hand with oil. Take a piece of meat and shape it into a round cutlet. It should be the diameter of 1 cabbage leaf. Then, place it on the cabbage. Repeat the process. Add 50 grams of chopped chives to the bowl. Add 30 grams of dill. Then, transfer 200 grams of natural yogurt to the bowl and 20 grams of tomato concentrate. Mix everything thoroughly until you get a uniform consistency. Spread the mixture over the cutlets with a spoon. Cover the meat completely. Place the prepared dish in an oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius. Bake for 45 minutes. Meanwhile, make the sauce. Add 20 milliliters of milk to the natural yogurt. Add a clove of garlic and your favorite spices. Mix everything. Pour the dish with the sauce. This cabbage meatball tastes excellent. It is healthy and satisfying. My family loves it.